what the guidance says, it's really specifically about dealing with taxpayers that have transactions with brokers. So think your exchanges. These are folks that under the new Rev Proc are going to have to start issuing 1099s. And so it was really specific about the cost basis and gain and loss calculation that those brokers have to do, because the Rev Proc, it stipulates that we're moving to an account-based inventory, cost basis tracking away from a universal approach. And it also says that you can do spec ID, you can provide your broker with information. So basically instructions of identifying the assets, the lots that you want to dispose of. You can give your broker a standing order for how they should treat that. And what this new guidance that came out, at the wire on December 31st said is, hey, we recognize that a lot of brokers basically don't have the systems, don't have the technology to facilitate that. So for a lot of exchanges, there is no way today for me to tell my exchange exactly which asset lot I want to dispose of. And so what the guidance said is what's going to happen is that those brokers are going to default to FIFO. And so you're going to get a 1099 in the mail that has your realized gain loss calculation, your cost basis calculations based on FIFO. And so what this says is, for the next year, for January 1st through December 31st, 2025, you can basically still apply your own spec ID or, standing order calculation of your cost basis and realized gain loss. Basically, you can override whatever your broker tells you because they understand the broker doesn't have the technology to kind of do it in accordance with the rules.
It doesn't do any of the stuff that the Twitter headlines have said. Like, it doesn't delay the account-based things. It didn't really delay anything per se. It just made this carve out if you can't actually send instructions. If you're an exchange that can't accept instructions, it let the taxpayer continue to do the election themselves. It didn't delay any of the new rules. It didn't delay the 1099 DA stuff. It did not delay the account-based inventory, which is what we've been talking about for the last couple of months here, which is having to do a reallocation of your assets into wallet by wallet inventories that then get relieved. None of that stuff changed. It was really very, very specific to this technical aspect of, can you as a broker take these instructions for spec ID? And I think, like we were talking about this earlier, I think this is a very interesting case where basically this stuff is complicated. Like when you pick this up and read it, it is dense legalese. It refers, if you've ever read like a bill amendment from Congress, they're really hard to read because they reference previous documents. So you have to basically go back and look at them. That's how this one reads. It references the previous notifications by section and title. So you actually have to like really read this and open up other documents and read them and like see what's going on. And if you just dump the whole thing into ChatGPT, it doesn't do that. It just like picks it up and like produces whatever mythical like fairyland world that it lives in. And I think that's what a lot of the news articles were doing here. I think they just dumped this in ChatGPT. In their defense, it's super hard to read. It's very complex. And then it just made up a bunch of stuff. And then that's what they ended up publishing. So this just sort of says, be careful about that. I went after this happened. I went and joined. I started subscribing to the IRS Guidewire newsletter, which I had not previously been getting. So you search for IRS Guidewire and you can get their newsletter, and then you get the direct stuff itself. Yeah, this is sort of like one of those knock-on effects of ChatGPT. That's how I see it.
Yeah. We were talking before the call about why are we seeing this confusion, right? Because I've seen on my Twitter timeline like people saying, "Oh, woo, great." All those new IRS tax rules. No, they're not. You don't got to worry about them for another year. And I was like, wait. That's not how I read it. And I really think it is, Pat. It's what you said. This is written in a way that IRS guidance is written, right? It is like really technical. It references this prior stuff. It's like you really have to go to the source documents, read it, understand it. And because like you said, Pat, it is really just this little carve out. So, there is definitely some bad information. I think folks just reading some headlines and, passing it along.
Yeah. So this is a long or short way of basically saying, all the stuff that we've been talking about where you need to basically take your inventories, run a reallocation. Hopefully you've done that before the end of the year, but if you haven't made any trades this year, you can do it also. We have all the tooling in Bitwave to handle that. So this is, we've got you covered if you're using Bitwave, and you got to, get in there and actually do all the reallocation. None of that has gone away. You still have to do account or wallet-based inventory this year.
Reach out if you have questions, right?
Reach out if you have questions.
This is complex stuff. We've spent a lot of time digging into this. So yeah, just reach out if you're confused.